Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a kind and gentle girl named Cinderella. She was as sweet as sugar and as beautiful as sunset. Unfortunately, her life was far from perfect. After her mother passed away, her father remarried a woman who had two little daughters of her own. Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters were cruel and made her do all the household chores. They treated her like a servant, making her scrub floors, wash dishes, and sew their clothes. Despite her hardship, Cinderella remained kind hearted and hopeful. She often dreamed of a better life, imagining herself as a princess in a beautiful castle. One day, an invitation arrived from the palace. The prince was hosting a grand ball to find a bride, and every eligible maiden in the kingdom was invited. Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters were thrilled and immediately began preparing for the ball. They made Cinderella work even harder to help them get ready, but they forbade her from attending the ball herself. On the night of the ball, after her stepmother and stepsister had left, Cinderella sat by the fireplace and wept. Suddenly, her fairy godmother appeared with a wave of her magic wand. She transformed Cinderella rag into a stunning gown, her worn out shoes into a glass slippers. She even turned a pumpkin into a magnificent carriage and mice into horses to take Cinderella to the ball. However, the magic would only last until midnight, so Cinderella had to return home before the clock struck 12. At the ball, Cinderella captivated everyone with her beauty and grace, especially the prince. They danced together all night, and the prince fell deeply in love with her. As the clock began to strike midnight, Cinderella remembered her fairy godmother's warning and fled the palace, leaving behind one of her glass slippers in her haste. Next day, the prince declared that he would marry the girl, whose foot fit the glass slipper. He searched the entire kingdom and finally he arrived at Cinderella's house. Her stepsisters tried to fit into the slipper, but it was too small for them. When Cinderella tried it on, it perfectly fit. The prince recognized her immediately and asked her to marry him. Cinderella's dreams had come true. She married the prince and lived happily even after, never forgetting the kindness and hope that had carried her through her darkest days. As for her stepmother and stepsisters, they were left to ponder the consequences of their cruelty. And so Cinderella's story reminds us that kindness, hope, and a little bit of magic can lead to a happily ever after. Would you like to hear another story or perhaps know more about a different fairy tale? Please let me know in the comment box and please like and subscribe the channel.